Okay, Roger once again, Mudfossil University, the home of truth, and right away the learning process has begun. The recent post showing the megalithic, seamless, perfect walls that everybody points to in Peru and all these places where they fit together seamlessly and they can't put anything in between them. Well, they're biological. I'm just going to tell you that right now. They're biological, and they are the biological, anatomical things that we see in creatures. Now, I showed this, and let me just play a little bit of it, and you'll see how it starts so that you can understand what's going on here. Hold on. Okay, it's Roger once again, Mudfossil University. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas. It is the 26th. Day after Christmas, and 2017, and here we have the walls that everyone says, ooh, how fabulous these are. They all squished together and they look perfect, and how could they possibly do this? Well, Mudfossil University has discovered the reason behind this, and it is, and I'm going to give you the smoking gun right now, this is all flesh, and it was all cut when it was pliable, and it was all put together like putty, and it all fell into place exactly perfect. And I will show you the reason I say that, and I have 100% evidence and proof of that. And if anybody wants to dispute it, I would like to hear the reason. You can go on, just Google all these different pictures, you can see them. Alright, I'm not going to go any farther with this right here, but I am going to show you the evidence that I was talking about. Alright, here's the evidence that I'm saying is undisputable. These are tire tracks from, obviously, a vehicle. These, you see these little squiggly things in here? Those, as you can see, the outline of them goes here and here. Those supported the tire tracks while this thing was wet and it was sinking in. So this was a pliable, wet mass, as this did its mining, which is over here, cutting these slabs. And it's a two-cut process. One comes in from the side, and then the next pass comes in from the top, and then they just pull the slabs out. And in my video that I just showed you, I do this and actually with some putty looking stuff, and I actually show the exact same process. And this is not the only place this is seen. This is another set of tire tracks, the same exact identical vehicle, and it's somewhere else. I don't know exactly where it is. I think this might be Bulgaria, but I'm not certain. But it's not certainly in that same area. Now, these are the mineralizations that occur in the tendon as it transitions from strictly white tendinous fibrils into mostly red, meaty flesh. And you see these these little mineralizations in there to strengthen it as it transitions. And I have tons and tons and tons and tons of this to show. They also had four-wheelers. You see that? That's the tire track of a four-wheeler climbing up over a wet tendon. That's the slippery investment. It's called synovial sheathing that covers these so that they can slip in and out amongst themselves. It erodes mostly off the top, but on the sides it's seen almost in all of them. Alright, here's the exact same thing. What they did was they made cuts going in this way, and then they made cuts going over the top this way, and then they removed these slabs. Cut in, over the top. You know what I mean? They cut in, cut in, cut in. So this is what they're doing. They're taking out chunks and blocks, and they're moving them over and making them into these walls, and then they settle. You know, some of them are going to be wavy and this and that, and then they settle down, and they create these patterns. And some of them are actually the patterns of muscle all by themselves. I'll show you that. Best way to do this is right here on my Facebook group page, and this is the Facebook group is Mudfossils Exposes Academic Frauds, which they will not allow this information because it destroys what they say, and it does destroy everything they say. Now, this is a wall that is literally from meat. That is exactly the pattern of meat, and these little cracky looking things between is where they have bloody investments called the synovial sheathing that covers them, and it's the fascia, and it has little bloody investments, and I'll show you what they look like in actual meat. Let me see, I have a picture of it down here somewhere. There it is right there. That is the meat that we just saw. And that is how they and they have depth to them too. They're not just, they can cut flat like a pancake. And I'm showing all of this in this particular in this how do I get out of this? Hold on. Alright, so now, and by the way, this just came in today. I'm talking about cutting slabs of meat. Somebody just sent me this right after I posted this. And this is the beauty of Mudfossil University. We don't say just go read this and repeat what I said and then you're smart. It's not the way learning works. We say, look at this. What do you think? And then people say, and here's what happened today. Just came in today. The quarries under the Temple of Solomon in Jerusalem are very white substance, which is tendon, that is soft when underground because it is still moist and still in its pliable living, basically, configuration. Then it hardens when exposed to air. Exactly. It's waterlogged and dead in the ground. Tendons don't have hardly any life in them. Anyway, they're just flexible as they stay wet. When they dry out, they fall into nothing. She says, I have an old book, In the Steps of the Master by H.V. so-and-so, in Modern Classics, originally published in 1934. Masons all over the world revere the place and so forth. And she wanted to know what the substance might be. What is this substance? And it's tendon, it's calcium carbonates. And she said that they took enough stone out of there. Enough stone was taken out to build all of Jerusalem twice over, it was said in this book. And I believe it, because they mined these things, and there was gold in there too. And all of the things they take out are exactly the same structure as the human body. You see this? I'm going to show you something that's called the foliations of the earth, and it is those structures right there. These are the foliations of the earth. They even call them sinuous. That's a sticklick, as a rough, smooth. These are the identical same structures you see in creatures, because they are creatures and they're petrified, but they were gigantic. People can't get their heads around this. They just don't. They just can't allow this to penetrate some people because they're too smart to think. So stop that. Give that up. Just think. I know you're smart, but think before you say, no, I don't want to see it. Because then I'm saying you're not smart. That's a fact. If you could just walk away from something like this that I have showed, I have no respect for your ability to think. So if you want any respect from humanity, you should stop and think before you just walk away. Oh, that's impossible, the guy's insane, and start making jokes and just posting all this silly stuff that they all do. And the ones that are doing are the most respected ones, that are supposed to be the most intelligent and the ones that have the most understanding. And they maybe they have some understanding, but they're not using it. That's all I can tell you. So that's my point. Don't look. You're never going to see. You're too smart to learn.